We are live. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Hello to everyone who is going to join us live, and hello to everyone who is going to catch the replay. We are today, June 11th, 2026. And I really felt the need to come back live and thank you all because I listened to the last live video that I came here, the story time that I shared with you guys. I listened to it so many times because first I was like, at first I said, let me listen to it because I did not want to overshare. Believe it or not, what I've shared with you guys was only a little bit of the surface that I kind of like scratch, So I kind of give you a little bit of the big lines for you to understand what took place, and also for you to, to give the story a little bit of a context. But I also wanted to make sure that I was not over giving, that I was not oversharing, because there's so much more that went into this final altercation. But then I really felt the minute that I finished my live discussion, I felt so relieved. I felt so just like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. You guys know that I don't necessarily come here and discuss, things that are too personal. One of the many reasons that I don't do so is because I understand that as a community, as someone who is like Haitian, a lot of the things that I may come here and a lot of the things that I may share with you are things that you guys are going to relate, are things that you guys are going to feel. And I'm always very mindful of people's mental health. Sometimes you talk about something and it brings out something else in someone, right? Sometimes you come and you speak about something. I remember when I was doing my story time. That's it's on this channel. Remember when I I was going to it with my parents, and the comments were crazy. The comments were so crazy. So I was like, I went back and I listened to it a lot. I felt like it was a very captivating story. It's like very captivating. But like I said to you guys, I also felt so relieved. I also felt so free. I also felt so like, I just felt good. And I really know that a lot of you sent out a lot of your energy toward me, even if there was no comments made. But I really, you could feel the energy. So I really felt supported with the story that I shared with you guys. I really did. So I said, oh my God, I have to come back. I have to thank you all, even if I had shared the picture. And I said, thank you so much for allowing me to share something that is so personal, something that so many Haitian people are going through right now, right? Because of the displacement. So many of you could probably relate to the story that I shared because it's like you've opened your house to someone and maybe the dynamics is not working out, or maybe you've opened your house to someone and it kind of like shifted the entire dynamic of your your household. And outside of feeling like I wanted to come here and wanted to thank you all for that, there's so much that I felt like, okay, you know what, I want to open up to you guys. There's so much that I felt like let's just talk about certain things. I don't usually come on live anymore for a lot of reasons. Okay. Maybe I will share here, or maybe I will not. But I do have my particular and personal reason why I have a little bit. I'm near the window, the street is right there. So, why a little bit I am not online these days. Okay, so first, guys, something that so many things after I shared the story with you guys, right? So many things just came back on mind that I felt like, the signs were there. When you are, let me teach you a little bit about one too regarding energy, regarding people in general, regarding sometimes if you're on the fence, like it could be about anything. If you're on the fence, when I'm not gonna stay on the story, we're gonna talk about so many things, but just little pointers that I felt like, let me come here and let me connect a little bit more deeper with you. I don't care who they are for you. I don't care if it's a parent. I don't care if it's a sibling. I don't care what the dynamic is with that person. There are people that your house should never be open to. If that person comes around, you should be able to receive the person outside. If you open your gate, then you should have a space, but the person should not come inside your house. There are people that are walking targets of negative energy, bad karma, right? And the minute that you open your door to them, there's kind of like a transmuting of energy that happens. And this is how come you could open your house to someone, and next thing you know, everything is going haywire within your family dynamic, within your home. You're having issues that you never had. You're having like car problems. Things are breaking down in your house. These are automatic signs that the person that you've opened your house to, their energy, they are cluttered with negative energy. So they'll run to you and you've opened your door to them, and automatically this is creating chaos and havoc in your life. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. So many people here. Like, please, like the live. When these people came, not the young lady, when her mother came in on a Friday. On Saturday, we have a pipe that literally broke, and this entire upstairs was flooded. I remembered I woke up and I wanted to use the restroom, and I just, so I'm getting outside of my bedroom and I turn around and I'm looking at this pool of water and I'm like, where is this coming from? So I rush to the restroom to use the restroom, and I come back and I'm like literally walking, padding on water, and I'm like, where is this going? My mother was in her room, and my mother was getting ready to go to church because that's all that she's been doing since the people have been here, is rushing. Like every day she's just trying to avoid and not wanting to be home. So I went inside her room. I said, the house is flooded. She's like, what? She comes out. She looks. She's like, oh my God, I'm late. I'm like, no, the house is flooded. Where is this water coming from? So we're looking, we're thinking that, it's a lake. And then we go inside my older sister's room, which is where my aunt used to be as well. And her entire room is like almost like a pool. The bathroom pipe just exploded and everything. And the door was closed, so it came through and flooded. All here was flooded with water. The minute that I seen this, I knew that that woman who had walked in was just bad, just bad. The second thing that happened, I'm usually the last person who goes to sleep. You guys know that I'm a night owl. I never go to bed in the middle of the night. But I like to walk around the house just to check, just to make sure that everything is on point. So I remember one time, it must have been 11:30. Everybody was asleep already. Their door was locked downstairs, so I go downstairs to make sure that everything is clean. There's nothing in the sink, like making sure that everything is clean. And then I see these roaches, a bunch of them. And I'm like, what the hell? Sometimes we have roaches coming from outside, but they look like really big roaches, and about 5 or 6 of them together. And I'm like, what? So I run upstairs and I get the big gun and I start to spray everything. and they fall, but they're flying. I'm talking about they're big ass roaches and they're flying all over. So I look at this and I'm like, oh my God. Automatically, I knew again that this was a sign that these people, they are coming in with a lot of craziness. Here's another observation that I made after I made the video for you guys. Remember that I told you in the story that the young lady came in first. And also remember in the story, I told you when I was having a conversation with her, her mother had nothing to say. She pretended like, excuse me, her mother had, excuse me, excuse me. So remember when I told you guys that when she was having a conversation with me, the mother pretty much had nothing to say about that, right? So she let her daughter take on the initiative to come here. Remember that I also shared with you that after I had a conversation with the daughter, and after I said to her when she expressed to me and she said, you know what, I really don't have anyone. I need the support, and my parents, they're not available. They like I'm pretty much by myself, so I really need the support. Remember how I told you guys this, and I said, okay, well, I didn't have a choice. I would have to let her be here. Right after that, we took some pictures, correct? And remember, I told you guys that after I took the picture with her, she posted the picture online. And I said to you guys that in my heart of hearts, I knew that the pictures that she posted of herself and myself are probably one of the reasons that her mother decided to come. Now, you know that I love to do a lot of in depth thinking, and you know that I love to look deeper into things. One of the things about the mom that I realized also is that there is a sense of jealousy. Because if you look at her and you look at the mom, it'll be hard for anybody to grasp that she has such a big daughter because she had her fairly young. And there is this notion that, okay, now that she's of age, she probably will get to live the life that I didn't get to have because I had her so young, right? So we say because the grandmother raised her. When she came here, when the daughter came here, now these are all realizations that came through after I made the live video for you guys. This is why I said, it was important for me to make this live in order for me to, see how things were done, right? When she came here, I embraced her. I bought her clothes. When I was doing cooking breakfast, I would call her out. I would like, hey, I'm making breakfast. Do you want anything? I would give her breakfast as well, right? The only thing that I never gave her was coffee, but I would always give her breakfast. But I never called the mother. I never, and I would cook for her, but I would not cook for the mom. I gave her clothes. I never gave the mom my clothes. And remember what I shared with you. I told you guys that every time that the daughter had an altercation with me, whether it was that verbal altercation until it led up to that last thing, her mother never came, never said anything. And there's one time I remember that the mother was like, I'm not getting involved with what you have going on with so and so because she's your bestie. That's your bestie. Oh, you know what? I don't care about what they have going on. That's her bestie. And it never dawned on me that maybe the mother felt a particular way because in her eyes, it's kind of like I'm ignoring her. So now all the attention I'm giving to her daughter, I'm buying her daughter things because I'm realizing that I told you guys the daughter was really pretty. She loves jewelry, she loves makeup. She had her set up for TikTok. You guys know I do content creation. Well, I don't do content creation, but I'm online. I work online. So there was a lot of common denominator between the daughter and myself. And also, guys, I was supporting the daughter in speaking English. For example, I remember I told her, I'll pay for you to go to the school. But I also told her, like, in the morning we would greet each other in English. She would say good morning. I would say good morning back to her. I would give her small, sentences and converse with her because I wanted her to learn English. It never dawned on me, not until I came on live with you guys. It just absolutely never dawned on me that, maybe the mother was sitting there observing the relationship that was brewing between the both of us and probably feeling a particular way, right? She was probably feeling, thank you so much for the like. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. She was probably feeling a particular way because she doesn't know how to speak English. She doesn't have a setup for TikTok. She's not on TikTok. She's not up into this whole technology doing things. Her daughter has some sense and she's not on YouTube, but I was feeling her out and I was going to teach her about, being on YouTube, doing her business, so many things. Ça va jamais passer. I can talk Creole because she's upstairs. Ça va jamais passer dans tête moi que madame nan probablement que maman a gardé relation, hein, que maman a gardé dynamique relation qui gagne entre moi-même avec petite li et que peut-être dans cœur li vinn jaloux de petite là. So, le que petite là, when the daughter is having those altercation with me, maybe in her heart she's feeling good about that because she's like, yeah, like, yeah, if I best you, that's your bestie, right? That's your bestie. Okay, okay. And here's the other key. This is so important. And I don't know if I will reach out to the girl. Maybe when her mom leaves, I will reach out to her. I don't know. I have to do a lot of soul searching. Thank you so much. Thank you for the like. Thank you. Thank you. Maybe when her mom leaves. You know why? Because I realized that maybe she never wanted her daughter to be here in the first place. Maybe she felt, because it's like I'm not the only person who's like supporting the daughter. My parents are also supporting the daughter. It's like everybody is giving her daughter more attention than she is. Like when my parents have events, for example, my parents went to first communion, they took her. They took her with them. They had this thing that they were going to. They took her with him. And also myself, if I'm doing something, I tell her, come, let me show you how to do it. So it never dawned on me, but I remembered the first verbal altercation that I had with her daughter. Like I said, she never said anything, but I remember she clearly after the first one, she was like, you know what, I'm not gonna get involved with what you have going on with her because that's your bestie. That's your bestie. So just came in. What are you discussing? I'm just following through. I'm thanking people for their support for the last live, and it's just kind of like brainstorming. I'm talking about everything today because you guys are probably not going to see me for the summer months, so it's going to be a potpourri for today. So pretty much, I'm talking about everything. It's gonna be, if you want to stick around, stick around. It's just talking about everything. Yes, so it just never dawned on me, right? It never really dawned on me that these were probably the mother's sentiment for the daughter because being here is a different environment for her child. Being here, it's us probably giving the support to her child that she had, but she messed up, right? Being here is the child probably having the opportunity to travel to another country. Meanwhile, she's going to be stuck having to raise her second child and having to be here with the mom. Because all these things happen, right? As a mom, if your daughter is living somewhere, right? Okay, she's not a, underage, but she's still pretty young, 22. And they're saying to her, okay, you have to leave the premises. wouldn't you also live with your daughter? Would you let your daughter take on and go be with somebody like that? I would leave. You would not even have to tell me to leave. The minute that I see that you and my child are going through it, and that is altercation after altercation, I would pack my shit and I would leave your house, right? So, these are all things that came in my mind after watching and listening to the live discussions that I did for you guys. And I was like, whoa, look at this shit. So now this girl, she's not even here. So you have to be very careful. And you see, she's young. Maybe she's not, her friends are not giving her the best advice. Maybe she doesn't have anybody who can support her. Because when you're thinking about what took place, right? And when you're also thinking about the fact that I told you guys that when, her leaving her job, it's kind of like she just took for another person and she left the job. So she's at this particular stage in life where she's missing out on opportunities, not out of her own doing, which is very, very important. It's important, even this, I bring this in here, and it's always a moment of teaching. In life, you are, it's so funny. It's like, this is why sometimes I don't come live, but coming live is just so an eye opener sometimes when I do these things and I'm talking about certain things. Sometimes God lead you in a particular direction to support you, but other people are seeing the direction that God is leading you in, right? Sometimes it's one person who becomes a friend of yours. God has sent that person to support you, but you let other people meddle. You let other people talk, and they see that you have this person to support you. They see that, if that person befriends you, if that person become very close to you, then it's kind of like they are going to be at the back burner. Then you're going to be bigger than them. Then you're gonna get those opportunity. It could even be a boss at work. Sometimes you may be in a position, or you may get a job, and your big boss loves you. It's like the connection is good. This happened to me when I used to work in Neil Ballet. This was in 2013. I worked for this American school. And when I tell you these people were fond of me, these people loved the heck out of me. I was working, the entire administration was from Massachusetts. I used to live in Massachusetts. A few of the other teachers looked at that and they felt threatened, especially the one from Haiti. And I let their opinion messed up my relationship. I couldn't see. See, I was young. I was even like in my late 20s. I couldn't see that these people were manipulating me into having certain reaction. So it's kind of like the administration would say something, they would come out with a few emails, and during recess or before school, all of these teachers would come together and they would talk shit. They would say, oh my God, how come these people are sending this email? We have a life, we have to do this, we have to do that. And I was young enough, so I couldn't see that they were instigating. And I would be the one who would be in meetings trying to say, oh, we're not supposed to do this, or we meanwhile, I never realized that when they were having meetings, they never said anything. They always stayed very quiet, very poised. They never said anything. But I was the only one who would always have something to say at the meeting. Or let's go back to this email. Let's talk. And it became annoying to these administration, right? To the point where they were having a problem with the checks, right? And they used to pay us in the American dollar, and we used to have to cash the check. And I remember this one time they sent an email and they let us know that they couldn't pay us, so we couldn't go to the bank to get the money. and the checks would be available on Saturday. Now, this was Mille Ballet, so every other weekend I was coming down to Portland to be here with my family. And I remember when I got the email, it's like everything that those teachers were saying, like how they felt like these people, because they were white, right, white Americans, because they felt like these people were not respecting us. They were sending emails, they amongst themselves, they would talk, they would they would say things like, these people, they're not respecting us. These people, they are acting like that because we are Haitians, and they're thinking that we don't have any opportunity. These people, they are acting like that because we're black. They said a lot of things that, as a young and very naive person, I just couldn't see through the smoke screen. So the minute that that last email came visit, I sent a crazy reply. Thank you, thank you, thank you, boo. I sent a crazy reply, not to the director, because I feel like if I had sent that email to her, the lady who that they had hired, she had such a caring spirit, but she also was seeing the way that these people were trying to manipulate me. She would have probably called me to the side, talked to me, and be like, "Hey, Rebecca, no, you cannot do this." Da da da. I sent the email to the big boss, the founder. Sent the email to her, and I forwarded this email to everyone in the institution. The minute that the email went out, it's the minute that the lady told me that you can catch your check, and you will meet with the director on Monday. When you come, just go, instead of going to the class, go straight to the administrative office. I remember that. I remember calling my mentor that I had at the time, who lived in Boston. I also remember forwarding the email to my older sister. And I remember my sister reading the email, and she said, "Rebecca, this lady is your superior. You cannot talk to her like that." And not only did you send her this email, but you literally CC'd all of the teachers. So if she doesn't take any kind of like disciplinary action, that sets the tone that everybody can talk to her any type of way. She said, "You overstep your boundaries. You should not have sent an email like that to her and attached and copied everybody, because maybe if you had sent the email and you had not attached, maybe the director could have called and be like, okay, let's have a meeting with you and them." But I remember my older sister saying to me that, "I really don't think that is gonna be like there to like you literally overstep your boundaries. You literally, it's like you're putting this woman in her place. This is her school. You cannot do that." And effectively, I was terminated the Monday. And I kind of knew that it was going to come to that, because I had called my mentor, who knew them personally. And when I spoke to the mentor, she said, "This is some crazy shit." She said, and then this is when she had this very personal talk with me about working in Haiti, with foreign people, about the demeanor that I'm supposed to have. She had a whole session with me, a whole day. And I never forgot. She said, "I don't think that they're going to keep you. I want you to understand that when you go into this meeting, I really don't think that they're going to keep you." She said, "But I know for a fact that they can't hold against you that you did not put in the work. They know that they're losing an excellent at the staff, because they used to talk about you. They even wanted you to not be only a teacher, but to start representing the school internationally." Guess what? One of the guys who used to work at that school was also part of the administrative, who happens to be the husband of my mentor. But he was personally, this guy had a problem with me. It's like he was envious of me. Have you ever met? I was like, I could be your daughter at this point. You're much older than me. I'm a young girl, but he had a problem with me. And it was so much going on at the school This is why I learned to read people, I learned to read situation, and I could peep things a mile away, because discernment is not something that I had. This is also one of the reasons why I mentor, and I always love to mentor young people, because a lot of the time, as a young person, you don't have discernment. Even older people don't have discernment. A lot of older people don't have discernment. They get caught up at work with shit that is like, this has nothing to do with me. Stay in your lane, stay focused on the things that you have going on. Always have your own best interest at heart. So, this to say that this young girl is no longer living here. Um, at this point, because she vandalized the house, my father would not let her come back in. So this goes back to the situation that I had in Mirvalet, when, because not only I had sent the email, but I literally attached the email to all the other teachers, right? I attached the email to all the other teachers. So now it's kind of like, even if that boss could have been like, okay, maybe she, maybe she was going through it. Maybe she needed the money and she didn't want to stay until Saturday to get her money. Let's talk to her. No, that boss felt like I'm overstepping my boundaries. Literally, I forwarded an email and I attached the entire staff. So she has to take disciplinary action, so that the other people are not looking at it like, well, okay, look at what this girl did, and look at what, she didn't do anything, so we could do that. You know what I mean? So it was important for me, just to show you the mindset, the mind game. I came with you with the story time, and I expressed certain things to you. But after I made the story, and I'm thinking, I'm like, damn, whole manipulation. And how do we know? Because she's young, right? She's young. How do we know that when they are in the rooms, you don't know what the mother is saying to her that's making her feel a lot angrier inside of her? Maybe the mother is like, oh my God, because one of the things that I overheard her one time say to one of her friends is like, oh my God, my mother can't do it. My mother can't do it. I feel like my mother is dying. And it's like, girl, your mother, yeah, she can't do it. You have people who don't know how to read and write in this country who make it every day. People who don't have not a third of what your mother has who make it every single day. Your mother just doesn't want to do it. She pretty much doesn't care. She doesn't want to do it. But we don't know, when she's inside this room, what this woman is sitting there talking, playing, and saying. And this girl, she doesn't know how to handle manipulative situations. So now she's out. So yeah, guys, thank you so much. This was a heavy story. I realized that this was a heavy story because it touched so many points that, even if I look at it, like, I was thinking to myself, some people wrote to me privately. I thank you for that. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm doing a lot better. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, it really affected me, because I kind of knew that this crash out was going to happen. And to be very honest, I know that that girl could have used any type of weapon and swung at me, because at this point, her it's like her emotion is up and down. She's not regulated her emotion. She's going through a lot mentally. She doesn't have the passage, the flow to talk, release, and be like, oof, okay, I'm good. She doesn't have that. She has to take care of grandma. She has to take, so it was a lot. So the reaction that she had, thankfully, she went crazy, vandalizing things. But I did feel, and I still stand with the fact that if there was any weapon around, any knives around, yeah, she could have used that and swung at me very hard. So I thought a lot about that. And I also thought about inheritance. You guys know that I do consulting. Wow. When it comes to people who are inheriting, especially lands, and if you are inheriting homes in a country like Haiti, it is not for the weak. It is absolutely not for the weak. I do believe that in one of the live discussion that I had, maybe last year or the year before, I said that if I had anybody who had inherited property, there's so many ways that I would get you to work on certain properties. Why? It is not for the weak. I don't know how to say it is not for the weak. It just is not for the weak. I am big. Let me tell you how big I am and what big. For example, in one of the conversations that I had with my mom, I said to my mom, I'm only trying to do this to protect you. I said, trust me, mom, I don't have anything in my mind like I'm not thinking inheritance. I want this house to be my house. No, but I'm trying to protect you with this whole inviting people in and out because I'm also thinking about what if I decide that I no longer want to be in Haiti? What if I decide that my parents at the end of the day, they can go to work, they can fly out now and comfortably know that they have someone who is certain. They don't have strangers in their house. They have their own child. And in those last 8 years that I've been here, they're paying attention as well. They're paying attention to, my own lifestyle. They're trying to if my parents had seen that I was going out all every other weekend, it was friends that I had men left and right. Oh baby, first of all, I don't even think that these people would allow me to be in their house. Second of all, they would never let me be in their house by myself. It's because they are paying attention to the behavior. They're realizing how disciplined that I am. They're realizing that my life is disciplined. So now they're moving accordingly. But the same way that they're feeling safe is the same way that I want to feel safe if I'm not here. It's the same way that I want to feel like if I'm not here, I don't want to know that my mom is in this house and she got this going on, she got that going on. That's another stressor. Are we here? So, when it comes to inheritance, this is how I'm moving. I always tell anybody who wants to hear it. Once you have your own children, you need to have your to build something for your children. You cannot like how do I take an example and what do I say? You cannot have a wife, a significant other, and believe that it's kind of like you living with them in their family house. Don't ever do that. You will lose your life in a heartbeat. As a man, the minute that you take on a woman, that you have a child with that woman, I don't care if you can only afford to have just this one space, you do it. Like a small house, you can't have two rooms. You can only build one room. Or if you don't have it yet, but you staying with family members, but after that you build something. My mother has a cousin who died. Literally, it was a setup. These people murdered this man. They wanted him out of their house. So this is the story, and then we're gonna move on because I have so many other things that I want to talk to you about. But this is just to show you. I want to also show you that what took place in my home, it's not a simple thing. It's a big thing. It's something that could have cost me my life, basically. Because when you're thinking about it's something that could have cost me my life. When people come inside your house and they feel comfortable, they are in a particular environment that they have never been into, that they would have never dreamed to be in, right? And you're trying to take that away from them, baby, good luck with that. Good luck with that. It's the same thing with this whole Biden thing. So now you see these Haitians are over there. You really think they're gonna come back to Haiti voluntarily, knowing what they left? No, they're not. Let's go back to my cousin's mother who passed away. Let me give you the story and let's move on. So the story is he met this woman. This woman was actually working at my mother's school. He met her. He was already in his 50s. He already had other children as well. I think he had one, two, three children already. When he met the lady, actually, the cousin that I did the vlog for you at his house that summer ago, his dad. So he met her and wanted to be get married, courted her and everything. And he said to my mother, you know what, I really love her. I really feel like this she's a woman for me. I'm gonna get married to her. He marries the lady and moves inside her house. Now, the gag with her house is like this was her parents' house. Her parents are deceased and left the home to her and her other siblings. So she was still living because she was not married and she had no child. So she was still living in the house, right? But also her sister was living in the house, who at the time was married and had I think that sister had one or two kids already. The sister was living in the house with her husband and children. So when my mother's cousin, we're going to say my cousin as well, so we'll say my mother's cousin and whatever. So when he married the woman, he moved in. He had the first daughter. They had one. The first daughter. They have their babies are so beautiful, and he had another daughter. So he had two daughters. So he was working. He used to work with this organization here in Haiti. So he started to work, and he started to work, and he founded a land, a piece of land in Port-au-Prince. But he also had purchased land in Company. So it's really very expensive to build property. That's why I always tell you guys the first thing is to have the land. When you have the land, you can pay for construction. You can, hire a company, but the first thing is to acquire the land. It's a very tedious process. So I know that he had the land. He purchased the land, but he was short on getting the money to start building the house. He was very short on that because let's not forget, he already had three other children. He had three children at the time who were teenagers, so he had to pay for school. He had to support them as well, and he had his other daughter that he was supporting. Plus, he had to support his wife and his two kids. So the earthquake happened. And the house where he was living with his wife gets completely, it's like a lot of, we say fissure, it's not completely broken down, but the house has a lot of cracks, right? Of course, the neighborhood, a lot of houses was down, so they evacuated the sister, his wife's sister, and his wife's sister, as well as her husband. They look for another spot. They start leaving because the house is completely cracked. It's even like looking like it's about to fall. So he too and his wife, they look for another spot, and they're there, waiting. So everybody spends about almost a year out. And he starts to look at the house. He's like, well, so my cousin, right? My mom's cousin. So he starts to look at the house, and he's like, maybe we don't need to, break the house completely down. Maybe I can, get companies, people like an engineer to come and fix the house, because it's looking pretty. It's cracked, but instead of like, have it all the way down, maybe you can fix it. So he calls in his brother-in-law, so his sister-in-law's husband. So he calls him out, and he's like, "Hey, you know what are you about to do? Because I'm thinking about refixing the house. I'm thinking about fixing the house, because I'm always out a year. I want my kids to, be comfortable where we are. It's not really comfortable." The guy tells him, no, me and my wife, we are absolutely not thinking about coming back. The house looks a mess. We don't think that this house is good for nothing. And, personally, I'm not going to spend money and put money in a house that I really feel like the house should be completely broken down. So that's what the husband sister tells him. So he's like, okay. And of course, let's not forget when it comes to Haitian people, they don't like to do any type of procedures legally. Listen, let me finish telling you the story, then we're going to dive into something else. But with the membership that I have, there are so many. You guys have to join the membership. This is where it's at. Trust me, you have not seen or heard anything from what I have. So in Haiti, people don't like to do anything legally. They don't like to do any procedures legally, especially when it comes to family members. They just rely on it's family. Like they take it by the word. Like if I say something to my sister, I'm like, okay, sis, no. It's they do things by the word. So it's like, okay, I'll take you for what you said. You said that you're not interested in the house anymore. You feel like the house is, it's not good, so you don't want anything to do with it. Hmm. So he says, so my cousin gets an engineer to come, and they're like, okay, they're starting to look at the cost for the repairs. They're starting to look at, but here's a little bit more. I feel like the reason that he went in with this project is because supposedly that man said to him, me and my wife are going to move on. Like we're not interested in the house because the house looks like it's good for nothing. We're not going to put our money there. So he automatically felt like, well, okay, these people are saying that they don't want the house, they're not going to put the money in, so we can go ahead and move forward with the renovation, thinking that now him and his wife would probably have more rooms and the house, they would be the only one living in the house, right? So that's more of an incentive for him to feel like, okay, let me put my money there, let me start working. This was a bad move. First of all, this is a family house. You should have always thought that if a conversation like that should have taken place, it should be between your wife and her sister, because they are the one who are the inherit, like they have inherited the house, not this lady's husband. That, like, that is her husband. He has nothing going on with the house, and not you. There should have been a conversation that your wife, as someone who is part of the inheritance of the house, takes her sister and be like, hey, sis, me and my husband, we're thinking about doing the renovation of the house. And we are going to move back in. So I want to know if you want to contribute and participate in the cost of the renovation, because you live here, and this is also not even because you live here, because this is a family house and the both of us have inherited. I don't know if there are other family siblings who's inherited. Do Are we understanding? This should not even be my cousins. It's like you should not even have anything to say about this house. You should not anything to say about anything, because that's not your place. That's your wife's family's place. That's not even her place. It's like it's a house that she had bought. That's her parents' spot. So her and her sibling are the inheritance of the house. Are we here? So he goes forward with the project and he rebuilds the house. He rebuilds the house, and true form, these people move back in. Of course, they move back in. What did you think was going to happen? Did you really think that now that the house is rebuilt, so we're like probably looking at 2 years into post earthquake, life continues, things are probably extremely chaotic. Of course, it is. A year post earthquake, things were still very chaotic. So, kote moun yo te pran l'ajan pi al bati an lot kay. Moun yo pa gen kop vreman. Son ti kote yo tap dormi. So, they literally waited on you to do all their house repairs, and they moved back in. When they moved back in, of course, my cousin gets livid because he's looking at that. I took it upon myself and I made all of those. See, let me show you how crazy I am. When it comes to this house, my parents' house, you see what happened? I'm not moving without my siblings. I'm not doing anything without them, because I no baby, say no to. So if there's a situation, if there's a problem, I'm pas besoin qu'on koto à vivre. I'm calling, I'm letting you know, I'm saying this and that because that's how you're supposed to be moving so that you avoid certain situation, right? So they move in and my cousin tells the husband, "Hey, okay, all right, this is how much it cost me. This ouch, this is how much it cost me and you need to give me half. You need to give me half of the reparation." He says, "Okay, yeah, okay, that's okay." He looks at the bill. He's like, "All right, I'll give you half." Yeah, anybody half lah. Yeah, he did. Who's that? Yeah, he gave him the half. Hmm. Mes amis, when it comes to property, when it comes to money, and when it comes to people's wives or husband, you gotta move carefully, move accordingly. You gotta be a beast with it. The first mistake that he did was marry that woman and move in with him. No, you don't move into your spouse's family house. First of all, I feel like when you're looking at it like that as a man, it shows a certain lack. As a woman, I'm never going to allow any man to come into my family house and live up with me. I don't even want you in my parents' apartment. No. You build your own. You build your own shit. This is my parents' shit. This is my father's sweat and blood for his family. You're not moving in, and no, we're not riding like that. Even if there is a like situation and we need some place to say, I'm going to have you get me a hotel. We are not doing that. I'm not moving into my parents' house with 2 to 3 kids. I'm not doing that. I don't know. There's certain things that I'm just not feeling. Like it's a no for me. Pusham fréquent, it's a no for me. It's a no. Like get your shit. Get your shit together. Like, no, we're not moving like that. So this was because, to be really honest, nobody's family is going to look at you as a man and look at you and give you any freaking respect when you can't hold your own. They're not. Trust me with that. They're not, especially for people who work, sweat, blood, and earn. We're talking about a time where, my parents, yes, they went to school. My father, he's an accountant. My mother, yes, they went to school, but they don't have the knowledge that I have. They don't have access to everything that I have. So for me to see that I would have a husband and you can't even double what my parents have done, you can't triple what my parents have done. No, it's a no for me. We're not doing that. So, anyways, he gives the guys the cost, and the guy looks at it and says to him, "Yeah, okay, yeah, it's cool. Half of it, I will pay you half of it." A year goes by, 2 years goes by. The guy has not repaid, and what the guy starts to do is give him little bit, which is the worst thing. When you owe people money, give them their money back in bulk. Because a lot of time, let's say someone is borrowing $50,000 for you, but now they paying you by the 100. Yeah, I don't got it. So here's 100. Oh my God. Or here's 100. Sometimes you can't even keep up how much money has been given to you because the money is so little. You can't even keep up how much money is given to you. So anyway, that's how he starts to give my cousin the money. He starts to give him the money like little bit by little bit by little bit by little bit. And this is annoying the fuck out of my husband because he's like, I just want my money. And then what's even more upsetting to him is because the land that he had gotten that he did not invest and start to build on it and instead took his money and rebuilt this house that did not even belong to him, they literally asked him for the land back because the land was sitting there. He had not finished paying it off, and the people had an offer. So they're like, okay, we have an offer. We are going to return to you the deposit that you made on the land because we have to move forward. We have an offer. Somebody wants to buy the land. So now he lost the land that he had. So it's kind of like deficit upon deficit because now not only did he lost his land, he's out of cash, out of pocket. And so now if he wants to leave the house, he has to do the whole process again, which is getting the land. So you see all this thing. So he's really annoyed. And I think that one day he comes off of work. So that's the story, because in 2016, he died in 2016. I was in the US, but it was not a death that was a natural cause. Now, this is for people who believe in spirituality and believe in certain things. If you don't believe in that, then it's going to be hard for you to comprehend. He had a failing heart. He did. He had a failing heart. And in 2011, in 2013, he had a scare and he did go to a hospital, and they had put a peacekeeper for him. One thing that you have to understand when it comes to, negative and demonic energy work, a lot of the time you have to be careful with what you tell people regarding your ailment. You never share if you have something that's going on with you that's not good. You don't share it. For example, if you had a operation and the doctors are saying certain things, so you try to keep these things to yourself, because a lot of the time when it comes to like people going to do these type of demonic attack on you, they will use a particular sickness that you already have available and speed up that procedure and send you to your grave. Are we here? I hope this is not too graphic for certain people. So if you say to someone, hey, yeah, you know what? I suffer from migraine. I always have a migraine. I always have migraine. We suffer from that in the family. If you say that to someone, and if that person, unbeknownst to you, has a problem with you and they want to attack you spiritually, all they have to do is make sure that the ailment that they're going to send to you is going to activate your migraine headache. So instead of having a migraine, maybe let's just say you have a migraine once a week and you take a Tylenol or ibuprofen, it goes away. So now it's like you start to have those recurrent migraine, and they're like very painful, and you can't open your eyes, but you're thinking to yourself it's just a migraine, and the migraine is just accentuating. And meanwhile, this is a whole demonic thing that they have sent your way, and they use the fact that they know that you have the migraine to make sure that you're going crazy. Are we here? So that's exactly what happened with him. They knew that he had a heart failure. They knew that the heart wasn't okay. So one day, I think that the story is that he comes home. So he was living upstairs. Meanwhile, these people were leaving. So the way that the house was set up, you had to go. You go through the stairs, and then you find their apartment, my cousin's apartment, on the left, and then you go up the stairs just a little bit, and you find the sister's apartment. That's how it was. And there was also downstairs, right? There were people downstairs. So I think he gets in, and he's going up the stairs, and these people have a lot going on downstairs. Like it's like they were not cleaned, okay? So he uses the term he's so upset. He's like, why is, and that's the other thing. This is not your house. So you can only control where you live with your wife, which is inside your apartment. You can't control like the area la Kua, because it's like every other people they live there. You can't control that. For example, when I'm here, this is my parents' house. So yes, I can control those external factors, because it's like this is still me. I can say no, you can't do this here. No, you can't have this here. But it's like I can't say this to my sister if she comes here, which they never trash my parents' house. Like I could never tell any of my siblings like, oh, you know what, you can't do this here, like you put this here. I can't even say that to their kids, because it's like this is a family house. These kids, they have to be able to move in and do what this their grandparents' house. Over here, you gotta know what you can do, what you can't do, like so that you're not in certain situations. So he gets in, and these people have all type of trash going on. I don't know how to say la cool in English, and and I don't know how to say la cool. So he says in Creole, he's like, "Woo, dito ko sa, musa yo salop, oh musa yo vraiment salop, comme il fait pas nettoyer la moun yo salop comme ça." So basically, he's like, these people are pigs. How come I'm walking in and these people are pigs? And then his a brother-in-law, so the sister's wife, husband, was there, and the other people who live downstairs were there as well, and they heard him. They pretended like this. They were like the brother-in-law. They told me because other people told me. The brother-in-law said, "Oh, frère," we'll say in Creole, then I'll change in English. The brother-in-law said, "Oh, brother, what's going on? You so upset? You just coming back for work?" But he said something. He said, your heart is not good. Why are you getting so riled up like that? So basically, he says to him, "Frère, ça qu'a fait là, après fait vin sur travail, et pour faire coller ou connaît cœur pas bon." Porque só o video or calling from so basically he tells him like, you have a failing heart, your heart is not good. Why are you, working yourself up? The other people who are downstairs, they come, they clean everything. 8 or 15 days after this thing happened, I think it was like, I think it was shortly after. His wife was already at work. His daughters went to school. He's sitting on the bed and he starts to not feel good. He starts to feel weak. The heart starts to give a lot of irregulation. He falls down from the bed. And I can clearly see it because after he died, I vividly had the vision of him. Like I saw him in the room. I saw him falling on the room. I saw him holding his chest, and I saw the guy walked in. This was a vision that I had. This was after he had passed away. We were in 2016. I was in Boston. Excuse me. So who's in the house and who can support him is the brother-in-law and the people who live downstairs. They were the first people who responded to him. How did the brother-in-law find out that because he was all the way in his room? He's all the way in his room. So how did the brother-in-law, because I don't know if he screamed for help. I don't know if he called his wife and the wife said to the brother-in-law, "Rush to see what's going on." I don't have those details. All I know is that he lost his life. And between you and I, this was a cause. He lost his life for a house that did not even belong to him. Things in the country of Haiti are just never simple. Where you believe that an issue such as, what can I say, something so banal, and it like, what is something that I can use as an example, so simple? It's important for you to understand that Haiti is a poor country. Whether some Haitian people want to pretend that it's not, it is a poor country. Every time that you have a country where people are understanding that they have to resume to violence in order to feed themselves, you have a major problem. When you are a Haitian person and you have families from all walks of life, so maybe you have people in your family who are well off, and you also have people in your family who are not well off. You got to thread carefully with how you're going to lend your support, because a lot of the time you may lend your support and lend your life away as well. Let me rephrase that. Let me say it again. A lot of the time you may lend your support and you are lending your life away as well. People who come dependent on people's mentality. Money doesn't mean education. Money is not also someone who you may be around. For example, I remember the first guy that I was ever in a relationship with. He was from Las Caobas. His parents were not people who come from a lot in Haiti, but these people were so like educated. These people were, he was, it's like five of them. He was the only boy. You should see the sisters. Oh my God, beautiful girls, These people were well educated. They had a lot of manners. They were like, there is, I would never feel ashamed to say that I used to date that man. I would never feel ashamed. When I see his family still today, this guy is married. Still today, these people give me mad love. And somewhere inside of me, I always feel like they're looking at it like, God damn, like we wish it was like they love the heck out of me. I could not have sex in their house with their brother. I could not do, like, everything that the sisters were doing. They included me in it. They gave me gifts. Oh my God. Like, if I had married that guy, I would have been, this would have been a beautiful family. Trust me. Like, there is nothing like my, in the beginning, my mother felt a particular way because she was like, what? Let's go, bus, da, 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 da. But he was really good. Like, his family, like, there's nothing that I could say that these people were bad. But c'est pas tout le monde. It's because their father valued, thank you. Their father valued education. Their father valued education. The family valued education. And yeah, they did not have the lavish lifestyle, but baby, they invested in education. So when you ran into them, you saw the outcome. But not everybody moves like that. Not everybody moves like that. There are people who are envious. There are people, it's kind of like you doing for them, you're supporting them. But just the thought of you supporting them is upsetting to them because they're looking at it like, I should be in the position to support myself or support other people. These are people that they're looking at you, and inside their heart they're like blatantly feeling like, "Ugh," they don't like you because they're looking at it like, I should be in that position, I should support you. Why do you have this? Why do you have that? So you got to be careful how you move in a country like Haiti, especially for those of you who kept opening your house, open your doors to people, family, people. No, you can't move like that. You don't know where people are from. Hold on. Hold on. The neighbor has a delivery. I don't know if it's food. I still snoop around to figure out what he does. But yeah. Yeah, I don't want to talk too loud. You never know. People in my neighborhood, they speak English. So. Yeah, guys, what was I saying? So yeah, I was telling you about like lending your help and lending your, you gotta be, oh my God. No, I have like 15 minutes to 30 minutes. Let me finish with this thing. So, HIV and AIDS as it pertains to the Haitian community, which is the upcoming webinar that I have going on. If you are a part of the membership or if you are going to join, if you are a part of the membership or if you are going to join the webinar, that story time, I film it and you will have access to it. I don't have the time and I don't want to talk about it, but it's a very, very painful and graphic situation. And I just could not believe that something like that in the year 2022, 2024 would happen. And the reaction, the being Haitian, it's a lot because you are literally peeling off layers of things that are not supposed to be done. And you are trying to teach a community or people or family members or people that you know, no, this is not how you act. Yes, this is how you act, especially when you have the knowledge. Especially when you have the knowledge. We will not have the time to talk about certain things in detail, right? But I really hope that you guys are going to join the webinar that is going to take place at the end of the month. It's a 3-day webinar on HIV and AIDS, specifically as it pertains to the Haitian community. Because Petit, when you are from a different nationality, it's not the same. Like you get a diagnosis like that, and being Haitian, it's a whole other ball game. It's a whole other ball game. But because the story that I shared for the people who are going to participate in the webinar, I gave the story, but there's so much more. There's so much more to it. There's so much more to it. So much more to it. And it also boils down to poverty. You would be surprised. Listen, let me just say this because I have to go. I have to still film a few TikTok videos. Let me tell you something. As a man, make sure that if you are going to marry a woman, you marry a woman who has the grit, the backbone to handle business if you die. As a man, if you are going to marry a woman, make sure that you are marrying a woman who has the balls, who have the knowledge, who is smart, who is intelligent, but who also has the grit. Because when it comes to death, when a family member dies, this is when you are beginning to see people's true color. This is when you see how much people will want to take you out for certain things. You would be surprised of two people who's been married for 20 something years, and one of them passes away, and the story that starts to come out, that man died within a less than a year. His wife, who happens to be my cousin, dies, vanishes. They leave behind 3 children, but they also leave behind a house that the husband had prior to even meeting my cousin. So he already had his house. They married into the house, so my cousin moved in with him. The house, they rented downstairs. They had a woman who has a beauty salon downstairs. My cousin ended up having a school in the house, so he did some renovation for her to have the school in the house. He was doing renovation to go upstairs because they needed more space down with the school. And that guy also had another land that a year after his, no, 3 or 4 months after he died, he came to my dream to tell me about that land. He literally came. I'm going to share this with you guys, but I keep saying that I have to go. That man literally came, and it's like, and told me, listen, I have this land. And he said, and beneath the land, there's uranium. So he was literally telling me that, tell your mother not to stress out because there's enough money flow for your cousin. My cousin actually grew up with me too. So she grew up with me, just in case you're thinking like, okay, why is he referring to my mom? Because she grew up with us. So literally my mother married her. So he knew my mom as a representative figure for his wife. And when he died, of course, probably my parents felt like, God damn, because it's like, yeah, okay, you're dead, everything is settled, but still, it's like, they're still, the youngest kid was only 3 years old when he died. So I know that when he came to tell me, and it's so specific, I remember that when he came in, right? Let me give you the story. So many story time. But I really felt so much from the recently what I shared with you. So I was like, you guys deserve my presence a little bit. Let me come back and share certain things with you. So the day that he came to visit me, remember I used to sit downstairs. That's where I used that downstairs used to be my spot in the gallery. I told you that I would always be downstairs in the gallery with my wine. This was 2019, 2020, 2021. This is how I was moving. He died in 2022. So I was sitting downstairs in the gallery. And then there's like this smell that I smelt, like this perfume. I was like, where is the smell coming? And I'm thinking to myself, maybe it's somebody who's coming down the street. But it's like the smell feels like it's right up my nose, like it's right up my nostril. I'm like, what is this? To the point where I panic and I just leave the gallery. I used to sleep in the summertime downstairs in the living room on a mattress. So I'm going downstairs with the mattress and I put the mattress down. I open the window for the living room and I'm laying down and I smell the same smell. And I'm like, oh my God. So I said, who's here? So I start saying, who's here? Who's here? And I'm sitting down and I prayed and I fall asleep. And I had this vivid dream. I dreamed that it's the day of the funeral. I did not attend the funeral. If you don't know, I don't attend funerals. So I did not attend the funeral. But I saw that it was the day of the funeral. And just as it happened in real time, because I remember the day of the funeral when the people were coming back here, I was sitting downstairs and literally my mom, my sister, my aunt, they came in and I was like, how did everything go? How did everything go? And my sister was like, everything was good. That they sang, they danced, they were moving with the coffin, the Haitian style funeral, they were dancing with the coffin. And I start to bawl out. I fall on the floor and, because I'm just thinking about him died because we really loved him. We were really close to him. So I remember my mom said to my sister, "Why are you telling her all these things? She don't do funeral. You know how she gets." Like my sister's like, "I'm just she asked, so I'm just telling her how it went. Everything went good." So okay. So in the dream that I have, I see him, right? I see it's the same day, so practically it's the day of the funeral. So I'm sitting at the table just as I was sitting at the table, but instead of my parents come in, I saw my sister with the same outfit that she had on for the funeral, and I see him coming from the back door, and he walks in the house, and he takes a paper and he puts the paper in front of me, and he's like, "Becky, dis maman mes papiers te là." Like so pretty much he says, "Beck, tell your mother this is the paper. This is the paper for the house, the land." He says, "Dis maman pas de problème. En bate a gen uranium, plein uranium en bate a." So pretty much he said in the dream, "Tell your mother it's okay. Tell your mother everything is gonna be okay. There's a lot of uranium beneath the land." So I get up, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, what? I'm like, oh my God. And I sit down and I'm like, no, oh my God. So I don't say anything because at this point I'm like, I just can't believe. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's my imagination. I don't know if it's because I'm still thinking about him. I'm still crying over him. So to the next day, so I don't say anything. I don't share anything with anybody. I don't say anything. I'm like, okay. So the next day, I'm going downstairs again to sleep, and I put the mattress downstairs, and I usually had my little setup, my water and everything. But then I'm sitting on my parents' couch, and I'm like sitting. So I'm just sitting on the couch, and I'm looking like this. I'm looking, and I say out loud, I said, "So and so." Excuse me. So I say out loud, I call his name out. I say, "So and so, I'm going to sleep." So pretty much, I say in Creole. They're not saying English for you guys. So I say, Etel, c'est coucher, m'pral coucher. Si c'est un message ou porter pour moi, pour me faire passer, ou faire même rêve là. Ou dormir, ou faire même rêve là. So pretty much I say, I'm sitting on the couch and I look around and I'm like, so and so, I call his name. I call his name 3 times. I say, so and so, so and so. I'm going to sleep. If you have a message that you want me to pass on, you have to come and I will have the same dream that I had. That's the dream that I will have. And I kid you not, I say this, and the minute that I say this, the perfume that I was smelling the night before starts to come, and I'm smelling the same freaking perfume. But this time I'm not afraid because I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay, oula. I said, okay, mon compère, so call him mon compère. My younger sister is his daughter's such a beautiful girl. I have her on one of my shorts. You wouldn't know, but she's on one of my shorts. Beautiful girl. I love her dearly. So I'm sitting there, and then when I smell the perfume this time, I'm not afraid because I know it's him. So I'm like, okay. So I go to bed. Lo and behold, I have the same dream. I'm like, okay, mon compère. So I get up in the next morning. I say, okay, mon compère, mon comprend. So I say, I understand. So I come upstairs. So I'm like, okay, he has a message. He wants me to pass on the message. Et ouais, il y a un peu de bagaille qui arrive que c'est parce que maman pas jamais entendu. My mom, it's like my mom, me and my mom, let ask it. It's like she does not want to listen to me. There's so many things that would have been avoidable. Even with these people, they would have still been alive. But it's it when people don't listen to you, qu'est-ce que tu peux faire? At the end of the day, you come, I get message, I pass along message. Sometimes I'm placed next to people, I do what I'm supposed to be doing. But when people don't want to listen, what can you do? What can you do? So I come upstairs. I go to restroom. I fresh up. I brush my teeth. I wash my face. I wash my hands. I put the matrix inside the room. I go to my mom. My mom is already up. I remember that. So I say, Mom. So I said, Mommy, I have something to talk to you about. She's like, yeah. She's always annoyed. She's like, stop getting. And I'm like, Mommy, did so and so had an extra land? I said, that's because, first I have to test the dream and I have to test what he's telling me. And I know that he would confine in my mom and my dad. He would confine about important matters. So I said, Mommy, did so and so had a land like outside of the house? Did so and so? And then she's like, she now I have her attention. So she's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, he has land. I remember that he told me and your father that Monsieur t'a acheté un terre qui tel côté tel côté. And when my mom say this, my heart drops. Bill, I'm like, fuck! Oh my god, what? So I say to her, Mommy, he came in. She's like, Tita. I'm like, he came in. She's like, I'm like, mommy, did I know? So I say, did I know that he had other land? So she's looking at me like, I'm like, Mommy, since yesterday he's been coming. He's been coming. He keeps coming. He told me to tell you that it's okay. He said it's okay to relax. He said the land has uranium. You know what my mom said to me? Which led to all this fucking shit happening. Like, we're too late. Like, if I give you all the story, we're gonna be here for another hour, and I have to do the TikTok videos. At least I have to film something for content. We're so late. You know what my mom said to me when I tell her this? My mom tells me, she looks at me, she's like, Gadi, dis monsieur comme ça. Al joindre madame ni. Pas vin joindre nous. Dis pas la voix. Dis le bon bagay pour la madame. Pas vin pas la voix. So pretty much, she was so mad. She's like, tell him, don't come and don't ever talk to you. Tell him if he has something to say, go to his wife and do not come to you and do not talk to you about no nonsense. She's like, I don't want to hear it. Get out of my room. I'm not hearing you. So I feel so like, damn. So I get out. She's upset now. And she just closed the door. But I think she was just shocked. Maybe she was shocked. Maybe she was like, what the fuck? Like, oh, I don't know. You know, with this Haitian people, you never know. But then I'm like, I go inside my room, and because you can literally, if you have, like, if you do mediumship, like if you have the people who are trying to reach you and who are trying to contact you, you can literally repel spirits. So what she did is, because with the tone and the way that she was so adamant, and she was like, don't tell him not to come to you. She specifically said, she said, don't tell him not to come to you. If he has something to say, if he wants to talk, he got to go to his wife, don't come to you. So her tone, the words that she spoke out, if the spirit was around, he would have not contacted me. Like, you repelling a spirit, you repelling that person's spirit, you repelling that person, and like, so what I do when she tells me to, she also tells me to get out of her room. I don't say nothing. I go back inside my room, but then I stand inside my bedroom. So I'm looking at the bedroom, and I say, so and so, if you want me to carry on something for you, you come back. I'm here for you. And I say to him, the same way that I was here for you when you was alive is the same way that I'm going to be here for you when you're dead. So you come back, because I didn't want him to not come back. Now, did I ever talk to him? Yeah, I saw him in my dream. But did things go according, Why? Because he married a stupid woman. Yeah, she was my cousin, but she was extremely stupid. An idiot. It's another one. It's another stupid woman. It's like, you keep marrying these stupid people, and then you die. They don't know if they're coming or going. He married a stupid woman. He married a woman that when he died, she felt like her world collapsed. She didn't know if she was coming or moving. She kept, oh, this is too long. This is too long. Oh my God, this is too long. I had to do the TikTok videos. The lady literally confided in people who didn't give a damn about her. Remember what I told you? She grew up with us. She grew up with us. Her mother has about 7 children. Out of the 7 children, she's the only one who came here to Port-au-Prince. She's the only one who had the education that she had. She's the only one who married, ended up with, a husband that gave her a house. Like, all of their sisters have houses. They have beautiful houses, but they don't have the same lifestyle. When you're from the countryside, people don't pay up college for you. They don't do that. The most that they'll do, that's the most. They'll probably get you into high school, like finish high school. And I say that's the most. The most that most family are for this certificate, meaning, especially as a girl, as a woman, as a young girl, you from the countryside, your parents don't have money, you get up to like eighth grade level education. That's enough for you. Basics, the basic. You know how to read. You know how to write. You can sign your name. You can read something, and that's it. Because guess what? You're gonna get married, and you're gonna have babies, and you're gonna be with your family. So the people are not really going to press and pay for school for you to have all this knowledge. So she was the one who came to live with my mom. My mom sent for her when she was 12. So she came to live with my mom. She was raised with us. She went to the best schools in Haiti, everything. But again, this goes back to everything that I used to tell you about, is that, when you take people in, there's so much that goes in psychology and your psyche as a person. It's like, it's the same thing with my mom. When you are the only person now who is, well to do, well off, when you're the only sister who had this opportunity, how do you think that the other sisters are feeling? Do they like you? They don't really like you like that. They're not fucking with you like that. Like, yeah, when you go, my mom never sent her off to go to vacation every summer vacation. She barely went once in a blue moon. So there's already a disconnection between the way that you are raised and between the way that your siblings are raised. When the very rare time that you go back home, you got to bring so much for them to feel their loves. So what made you think that your husband being dead, that these people would have your best interest at heart? What in your mind, what made you think about that? What made, oh, I feel like this is like, I feel like I should be here with you and talk to you so much, but I'm not gonna be able to. What made you think that? What made you think that these people are going to have your best interest at heart? No. The interest that they have for you is to send money. Yeah. Voy l'argent pour nous, nous pas gagner. Nous pas gagner ceci, non, nous pas gagner cela, non. Oh, nous gagner petit, nous malade, nous gagner ceci, oui. Yo toujours des problèmes, yo toujours des problèmes. Si yo relo seulement là, yo des problèmes. Oh, m'pas gagner manger, ma ti vent yo plein. You got a peep game. So what made you think that your husband is going to be dead? And these people, you could confide in them. And you know what was so hurtful in the story is that she literally confided more to her brothers and sister than to us because she was making moves, she was doing so many things, and her brothers and sister were telling her what to do. Meanwhile, we are here and we don't know shit. And guess what? She's dead. Dead. Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I really feel like it's too much for me in this whole situation. Um, you know, it's a lot. Being Haitian, it's a lot. It's a lot. If you're Haitian, I sympathize. It's a lot. Being Haitian, it's a lot. Whether you, however way that you're looking at it. Merci, mon amour. No problem. Thank you. And being Haitian, no matter where you're looking at it, it's a lot. And with the situation that's going on, it's going to be even worse because what took place literally, oh, there's so much that I have to share with you. People drive the craziest shit in this country. So I follow this woman on TikTok. Her name is Tanya. She is Niska's mother's, the artist Niska. That's her name, Niska. I think Niska goes by something else now. I don't know. But she's saying she has a song with Bookman Experience that I really, really love. So that artist, I don't know, she has a couple of songs. Like I really vibe with her. Like I like Niska. I think she has a new name. I don't know. I can't remember her new name. So her mom, I follow her mom on TikTok. And her mother usually has like posts in English, but the mother had a post recently that I listened to and Oprima Ball. So at first, when I listened to the post that her mother had, I felt like, oh, that's a good message. But then when I really thought about the message, I'm like, that's a that's a the, that's not like the message is not good because okay, let me tell you. So pretty much, this girl called Yana went into a contest in Africa representing Haiti. I think it was House of Lab or something that was for TikTok, right? So she's a young girl. She's part of that new generation who loves TikTok, and she has like over 1 million following on TikTok. And she had a contest, and Haiti hyped her up. Like the Haitians supported her mad love. She won. Came to Haiti, Haiti, her is big up to her, everything. So I'm not gonna really go into the details with the contest with everything because this would be too long. And sometimes I just feel like I want to keep my opinions to myself. So right after that, Haiti gets selected. Actually, you know what? We have to talk about that. We're probably gonna be here for another hour because there's too much for me to share with you, and I'm not gonna be live because these things are deep, right? So right after Yana goes and wins the contest for Haiti, Haiti gets approved to join the World Cup, which was major because Haiti hasn't been part of the World Cup in over 20 to 30 years, if my memory is right, right? So again, this is like a wave of good news, and the Haitians are looking at it like this is our time, like big up Haiti, this is our time, this is our time. So basically, that woman, Tanya, she said in her post that when Ariana was winning, she didn't know who Ariana was and what was going on. And she was very skeptical because she was like, like, okay, what is that going to do? But some of the younger people who were working with her, who are Haitian, were telling her no, like you know. And she said that one of the girls said to her, Madame Tanya, like no, this is our time. Like Haiti is rising up. When have you ever heard of a country with no government, no president, no nothing, but we're still living day to day? We're still going about our day. Like, have you ever heard of such a thing? And she was like, she was reflecting on that. She was like, that's the truth, you know? Being Haitian is the like the resilience and the strength pretty much. It's like, yeah, you've always been like who's can do that? Haiti is going on 6 years with no government. So she was pretty much reaffirming that it's a new leaf for Haiti. Guess what? It is not. Let me be the bearer of bad news. It is not. It is not. You got to be careful with what's going on right now in Haiti. You got to be careful with the way that now these people are putting Haiti in the forefront, because a lot of times it is coded messages. It is coded messages because they know a lot of those big headed government international officials, they know how Haitian people move. They know how passionate we are. So after 6 years of hell that they've given us, a president's assassination on the ground, millions of displacement, both in Haiti and throughout, thousands of Haitian dead, almost more than thousands. So now they are moving in a way that they want to erase this period of history and then try to push Haiti forward so that we can forget. No, this is the time for us to be the most vigilant. Don't get caught in the celebration that they're getting, because they have something else coming behind that is going to be even more gruesome when it comes to the country of Haiti. But I'm on it. Don't worry about it, because I'm not stupid and I'm not dumb. What happened with this country? These people have to pay for that. They have to pay for the billions of Haitians, the psychological issues that almost everyone has to deal with, the displacement, the madness. And this is why it's so scary, because you know that the way that they have Haiti, when you go through so much trauma, a wave and a breath of fresh air only makes you feel like, oh my God, I want to feel alive. And that's the euphoria that's going on, especially with the diaspora, right? When you think about, yes, thank you. Thank you. When you think about, the way that, Ariana went into this contest and the Haitian was like, hype me up. She killed it. And then so now, if you go, especially on Instagram, when it comes to the World Cup, the Haitians are everybody, every artist, every TikTokers, everybody is out representing Haiti, right? It's mad love for Haiti, but don't be part of the distraction. I'm not saying don't celebrate. I'm not saying don't hype your team up, but be very grounded. And over here, right now, what I'm doing, I'm grounded. I know how they move. I see right through them. And I know they're coming with something bigger. By the way, let me close off with this, because at least I had to film a few TikTok videos. Yesterday, I'm online, I'm on Instagram. By the way, if you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram account is DL Consulting Firm 83. That's the work Instagram. But I also have the youth agency, which is Youth Agency International HT. So you can follow both accounts, but also follow the consulting account over there. So yesterday I'm on Instagram, and I told you guys that I removed myself from Faces of Haiti because it's like sometimes it's difficult for me to see certain posts and not comment. It's just difficult, right? A lot of nonsense online. They post du n'importe quoi, and you look at the shit and you want to comment, right? But these are not the same Haitians that are over there. They're like extremely illiterate. So you say one thing and they just go crazy with it. So it's not no medium for me to unfortunately voice my opinion over there. Otherwise, you in for a fight with them. So I follow Tito Point HT, and they posted that Monsieur. Oh no, let's not call him Monsieur. A Wyclef Jean. So Wyclef is coming up with a new album. So they posted a snippet of this. I miss Cassie Kujai. He would have seen right through this too. You are so on it. Thank you so much. Yes, Kujai. You talking about the guy from the Kujai band in Haiti? That guy, or you? Is it the guy that you're talking about from the band Kujai? Let me know. So we clef. Nous connaissons que Monsieur te gen folie président. So you guys know that in 2011. Now let me give you the story. You guys have me, and my mom is gonna get ready to come, so I'm gonna have to switch up and go in the back. And I had to make my TikTok videos, but there's so much that I feel like I have to share with you guys. So you remember, Wyclef wanted to become the president of Haiti in the year 2011, right? Now, this is the gag with the way that shit happened between Michel Martelly, Vagabond Yorele Wyclef, and my guy, Praz Michel, because Praz Michel, that's my guy from the Fugees. Martelly wanted to be the president. Unbeknownst to many people, Michel Martelly actually planned to be the president of Haiti. It was not in a spur of the moment decision. It was not a decision that he just decided I'm going to be. No, literally, Michel Martelly planned. He thought about it, he planned it out, and he probably ran to his family first because that's the first people that you have to run to. Because if you decide to get into politics, you got kids, you got a wife, you in for a lot. But his support came from Praz and Wyclef. These are the people, yes, the lead guy, Kessie. Okay, yeah, from Kujai. Okay. That is the truth. He died. I remember that. Yeah, he's not here. Yeah, some of the greats. I feel like the only the people we have now are Bookman Experience. Lola and Manzette, they are really good, but I don't think that they really want to talk politics these days, especially because it's so dangerous. But to be really honest, Lola and Manzette, they are the real deal as well. So yeah, so let's go back to what was I saying to you with Wyclef. So Mateli meets up with both Wyclef and Praz Michel, and he comes. He doesn't ask them. He comes with his plan. There's an old interview. I don't know if you're going to find it online, but this is an old interview from Praz Michel because when Wyclef decided that he wanted to go and be the president of Haiti, there was a separation between him and Praz because Praz felt like Wyclef kind of like was being a snake because it was him and Wyclef who was supporting Michel Martelly and who was supporting Michel Martelly heavily financially, especially on the international front. Because I remember Praz in that interview, he said like when certain meetings started to happen, they provided Michel Martelly with, like jets and stuff like that because they felt like, no, now you are a president, you got to move accordingly. So, si tout nèg yo prale avec, jet, ba, ça pour ki sa pour aller ta kon ge koko, non, n'a met gamin sou nou, n'a voyo aller en gros boss, ça gen là. Wyclef qui sont vieux haïtien, tizoy, mais gros c'est jol, wala di jol, mais gros c'est jol kaka, m'pa vle wè Wyclef, by the way. Oh, petit, c'est pas sell out seulement. Ooh, listen. So what Wyclef does, so pretty much Mateli goes into them and Mateli is presenting like, okay, you know what? I think I got it. I'm about to put my name on the ballot for Haiti. I'm going, but I need some support. They both decide to support Martini. So they both are behind Martini, supporting Martini majorly internationally and providing shit for Martini to stand up, to represent himself. Wyclef goes around and at the last minute take his wife and comes down to Haiti to put his name on the ballot as well. But ça que monsieur Pat connaît, c'est que the law in Haiti, in order to hold any governmental position, is that you have to be in the country for 5 consecutive years. So you don't even know the regulations of this country. What makes Wycliffe think like I'm still over here we do critical thinking. Nou pa vin pran Babylon la men moun. Nou pa vin pran celebrity la men moun. Pa ni bay kon sa. What made Wycliffe believe that he could be the president? Like for me, I feel like this is disrespectful. Like sa do ko ka vin nou president pay. Like why? Because you Haitian? You haven't. We're gonna be here forever if I bring this shit up, but I have to tell you about that because I have to tell you about a dream that I had last night. So pretty much, Monsieur prend Claudinette, qui c'est madame, li man ti Claudinette toujours avec lui, si Claudinette si ouvert gunjen li kite li, parce que c'est on pas ket moun vicieux, il va quitter garçon parce que garçon gen l'argent. So he takes Claudinette and comes down to Haiti. But he gets a rebuttal because the government, the law in Haiti is that you have to be in Haiti for 5 consecutive years before you get to leave the country, before you get to have, excuse me, appointed. And around the time that he decided that he wanted to be the president, I never forgot. But Michel Martelly was a grown man. He's a grown man. So he sees what you did, and he sees the bullshit that you did, but he's still a grand monde que lié. Il passe un éponge sous ça. And when Michel Martelly was campaigning in Haiti, I was very surprised to see Wyclef Soucha Michel Martelly. He didn't come down to Haiti. He était venu by Michel Martelly's support, but you are a sellout, a big snap. Moun kon sa ou veye ou, gade en haut, gade en bas. Haiti pas supposé supporter Wyclef at all. So Tito.ht, which is the page that I follow on Instagram, has a post. And in the post, it says that Wyclef is getting ready to put that album out. So they have like this little clip that he has out. Very flowing. You know, he's a great musician. We're not going to take that away from him. But I'm listening to the lyrics that he has, and I'm like, what the fuck? He's still on wanted to become the president, like he was in Haiti fighting paramilitary when, hey, Jesus, Wyclef, when were you fighting paramilitary in Haiti? Mes amis, bon Dieu. Kade question net gen audace? Wyclef. So at first I see this and I'm like, don't say anything, but it's bigger than me. But what I do, because I know if I write anything under this post, it's gonna be the same Haitians, and you're not gonna know right? So I go on his page. I go on his particular page, and I go and I write and I write, and I basically tell him a few of my peace of mind. I'm like, you're not even a sellout. I said you are a dirty, because there's so many things that I know about this guy. When it comes to Yele Haiti, like, oh my God, an organization that you didn't even know the operational standard and how your own organization was moving in the country. The dirt that happened, like if Wyclef lets me take on and start talking shit about everything that his name was tied of, because between you and I do believe that he did not know anything that was going down in Haiti when he came to Yale Haiti in this orphanage. He did not know. But this is why when I do consulting for nonprofit organization, I take the longer route, because at the end of the day, if you want to have a nonprofit, you better be on your A game, because shit is going to trickle down. And as a founder, your name is going to be the name that's out. Are we here? So I write. If you want to hear what I write, it's on over there on his page, and I give him a little bit of my peace of mind. Now I don't know if he's reading this or not, but I kind of like had a lot on my chest, and I was like, I'm still gonna go ahead and write. So I wrote not on Tito Poet H directly on his page. Hell no, to him, my Haitian people, I know so much about him too. Yes, and unfortunately, this live would be too long because the dearth that week left came to Haiti, and then it's just unbelievable. So yesterday I have a dream which was so premonitive. But I pondered a lot if I was going to talk about the dream because I felt like it was a message. But I had a similar dream in 2019, and a year after having the dream that I had in 2019, the corona happened, and shortly after that, the vaccine was there. So let me go into 2019 and tell you about the dream that I had. In 2019, I had just moved into Haiti. I have a dream. I saw myself and I saw some soldiers. They were they were not white American soldiers. They looked like Nepalese, Brazilian soldiers. They took me. Hmm, sorry, my thing got reconnected. I was telling you the story. I don't know if you heard it. I was going to say to you that I wanted to share a dream that I had last night. But prior to sharing the dream that I had last night, I want to share with you a dream that I had in 2019, which was a premonitive dream. And what followed through in 2020 was the coronavirus. And shortly after the coronavirus came the vaccine. So I think that something else is coming just like that, guys. I think that something else is getting ready to come even more brutal, right? I don't want to scare you. I really don't, but I'm going to share this with you. So in 2019, I have this dream, and I saw these soldiers. They looked like they were Nepalese or Brazilian soldiers. They literally, I was somewhere in almost the desert, and I was getting dragged. These soldiers were dragging me, and they threw me inside a little house which had absolutely nothing. Like it was just a little house, and they had their gun pointed in front of me, and it looked like if I made any type of moon, they were ready to blast my head, right? So while I'm sitting there and I'm pretending that I'm dead, like I'm not making a move or a sound, and one of them, like he has the rifle right in my face, like ready to kill me. And in the dream, I remember that I'm not moving, I'm not making any sound because I don't want this guy to blow my head. So finally, he leaves, and they leave one soldier in front of the little house to wait for me. But then after that, they come back and they take me, and they like force me to sit down on a chair, and I'm fighting with them at this point because I'm thinking that they're getting ready to kill me, but I'm fighting in the dream. And then one of them holds my head, and he takes a syringe, and the syringe is so long, and he starts trying to administrate the syringe on me in the dream. So I panic, and then I wake up like this. I could never make this dream. But then shortly after that, in 2020 comes the coronavirus, and then they introduced the vaccine. Thankfully, I was in Haiti. I have never gotten any vaccine. So let me tell you about this dream that I had last night. Last night I went to bed pretty early because I knew that I wanted to film today and I wanted to get up early. But I always pray before I go to bed. So I prayed and I fell asleep. I had this very strange, vivid dream. I see myself inside my barber's barbershop here in Port-au-Prince. I see us hanging out. So I'm not there for a cut, but I'm just there and I'm hanging out with him. And these people walk in, they're all in suits, right? They all in suits, they are all white. There's a woman who is a white woman, and she's very like petite, okay? But like suit, eyeglasses, like very. And these people come and they take me. They literally take me, and they grab me, and they go and they drive away with me. But in the dream, I'm here in Haiti, but as we're driving, I'm no longer here in Haiti. So they're driving, they're going somewhere with me, but then they get to a house, and they get inside this lavish house. They're talking a language that I don't understand. They're not talking English, but everything in the dream is like they are literally trying to kill me. They are trying to administrate something inside of me. It felt like they were trying to put a chip inside of me. They're trying to put a chip inside of me, but I'm fighting. You know what I mean by the chips? Like, those little things that you insert in your phone, those little gadgets. That's what they're trying to put inside of me, but I'm fighting like hell. But these guys, they're like really, really tall, and I can't fight all of them. But the woman, she's the one who's giving the directives, and she is the one who's giving the thing, like, okay, this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing. And in the dream, I remember she's like standing over me, but it felt like it's like they had to do it. That's why they came, right? So I wake up, and this dream is vivid, and I'm like, wow, like what the hell? So I start to think, my mind is going crazy. So I start to think about the post that I made, what I wrote under week left post. I'm like, okay, maybe I have people watching me. But then the dream that I had in 2019 comes back in mind. I'm like, maybe it's actually bigger and deeper than what I'm thinking. So I kind of debated with myself a lot if I was going to share this, because I just was like, okay, maybe this is not something for the online community. But I said, you know what? There's been a lot of time that you've come online and you shared a lot with people, and they came into passing. So I said that I was going to share with you about the dream. I was just finishing. So I said to you that my mom is here. So I said to you that I said in the dream, I said, you know what, I am going to come, even if it's in passing, and I am going to share about this dream, because you never know. So remember what I told you. Be on your A game when it comes to this whole euphoria, and to the way that they have Haiti at the forefront right now. These people never do anything for anything. Haiti went into hell for 6 years. If you haven't already, you need to follow the consulting page over at DL Consulting Firm 83. I have a page over there on YouTube. Listen to the live discussions. And listen to the live discussions. Listen to the videos. Take notes. Election time is here. I won't have the time to discuss. I still have to do my TikTok. It's so hard. I still have to do a few TikTok videos because I have to work all week. I'm not gonna have the time to film, so I still have to make a few TikTok videos. So I don't know when I'll be able to come on live, but election time is here, guys. A lot of contract are getting ready to be out. Major contract. Okay, you gotta remember it. Go listen to the video that I have on the consulting page regarding. Thank you, my love. Thank you for being here. Go listen to the video regarding the United Nations, regarding Agenda 2030, regarding what they have going on. Go follow the consulting page, DL Consulting Firm 83. Last week took me out a little bit with the situation at home. So there's a lot of videos that I did not get to film for you. There's videos that I want to film regarding contract. By the way, going back to the live that I made for you regarding the guy who came to Port-au-Prince, who was in Lekai, and who did the amusement park, I wanted to come and follow through and tell you, if you're thinking about like anything for Haiti, these are the areas, and a lot of other things already beat me up, like BLH or BUH, which is Banque de l'Union Haïtienne, BUH. They are currently giving. I don't have the post. I'm gonna have to make a video for you guys. They are giving maybe 100K, like billions of good for projects in agriculture, for projects in technology, for projects in so many things. Guys, yes, the times are here. Be safe. Don't come to Haiti if you're not on your A game. This is actually a more dangerous time than what was going on, because things are going to get very subdued. Are we here? And remember the dream that I told you that I have, okay? People don't do anything for anything when it comes to the country of Haiti. They know what they're doing. They know how they're moving. So I have to go. You guys kept me here long, but it was a good time. I really felt appreciated the last time, and I felt like you guys deserve for me to come and give you a little bit of my time. I'm not online these days because no, but when I come here, I speak game. I get I put you on, but I also know I have a few watchers that I don't want to give them any pointers. I need for people to make their own brain work. Listen, join my membership. You're not gonna miss out. Join the membership. Join the membership. Join the membership. Okay?